Mr. Chairman, sir, the overall different initiatives of the government, and particularly leveraging upon the substantial transfer of money from Government of India in the form of the provision which is provided under the relevant provision of the Constitution of India in terms of transfer of the share of taxes to the state, which has increased from 32% earlier to 42%, which is reflective of substantial jump or surge or increase of the whole fund that is accrued to the state exchequer for taking up various initiatives, developmental programs in right earnest under the mandate of the Constitution. In addition to that, there are also certain provisions in the Constitution which provides the space for the union government to provide grants. And we are also a recipient of that grant. Besides many other provisions of releasing funds to the government under the central sector schemes, centrally sponsored schemes. Now, in the instant case, states have been benefited by the Government of India's program. Earlier, we used to have just special plan assistance, if you recollect. Now, it has been named as special plan assistance to state for capital investment, meaning it's somehow tied to the initiatives which will revolve around infrastructure, creation of infrastructure, as per the felt need of the state. Now, therefore, the felt need of the infrastructure across the state are many. There are demands coming from all sides. Nevertheless, the state government has to have its own wisdom based on the overall felt need of the different infrastructure that need to be created across sectors within the framework of the guidelines, and also see that this money is efficiently utilized in a manner which is inconsistent with the principle of transparency and effective implementation with utmost sense of accountability. Now, therefore, I would like to ensure that as a member of this August House, we are able to put the concerned departments, the implementing departments, in sync with the responsibility vested upon by the Constitution of India to see that all these implementation programs adopted, including selection of projects in a manner which again revolves around the need for equitable distribution of development, with a special reference to look at how to bridge the developmental gaps in terms of infrastructure across the state. The developmental gaps, there exist developmental gaps in all the states. Therefore, how this critical component in enabling the government to decide on what, and also the priorities. The priorities. What are those priorities in terms of the need of the state in, as far as the infrastructure is concerned? Then subsequently, the manner of implementation. Now, Mr. Speaker, sir, in the manner of implementation, here we have the demand for additional grants amounting to ₹200 crore only as supplementary demand, which is in respect to the construction of new Secretariat and Directorate complex, including campus infrastructure at NST Meghalaya. This is the jargon, NST. many will not know. I would like to request through you, Mr. Chairman, sir, not to use jargons in the explanatory notes, abbreviations, so that we are all able to know what exactly is NST. I know that it is New Shillong Township, but then sometimes it could create a little bit 1 minute or 1 second of confusion. So usually I was told, in fact, when I was the Chief Minister, one of the senior journalists and one of the senior editor drew my attention, Mukul, Dr. Sangma, that your whole presentation in the budget are full of jargons. It's very difficult for common man to know the jargons. It is confined to different departments. So I think it is also necessary for all of us, because every department has their own abbreviation. Some are same abbreviation. So therefore, may we also, through you, Mr. Chairman, sir, in the days ahead, for the purpose of having a better clarity and avoid any kind of lack of clarity due to jargons inserted in these explanatory notes, maybe this may be avoided. So here, 200 crore. Now, I am aware that the project has been initiated. Now, there are issues which I need to bring before this August House in terms of the mode of implementation. Who is the implementing agency, number one? Number two, how was the contractor selected? Through what kind of bidding process? They are all guided by different rules, different circulars given by the government, both union government and state government, including the CBC guidelines on tendering process. CBC, again, this is jargon, Central Vigilance Commission. So these guidelines are there. We always adhere to those guidelines. Why? In order to ensure that there is lack of ambiguity, to prevent any different interpretation subsequently that it may lead to any litigation. The provisions of creating differences are sometimes tempered upon intentionally by people who are hand in glove at the time of preparing and scripting NITs. This has been come to the notice of, rather has been under scrutiny for quite some time, and this has been already reflected in many of such cases. That's the reason why the CBC guidelines. Now, therefore, the NIT must be placed before this August House, because it's a huge amount of investment for the interest of the public. We are happy that new Secretariat cum Directorate building is being constructed in New Shillong Township. We have looked at these. That's the reason why we have identified that very parcel of land for the new assembly complex. I think that is how the natural spread of development takes place. Now, here again, it is necessary that in terms of preparation of DPR, now who has prepared the DPR is also important. Whether the DPR has been put to substantial judicious scrutiny to ensure that the detailed specification for goods or items or materials or whatever we call them are specified in a comprehensive and well-defined manner in order to avoid any chances of the builder to change the quality of the items. For example, a tile. For example, the flooring specification. What is the type of flooring? What is the type of wall paneling? All those items, details of goods and items, how they have been factored in a very comprehensive and well-defined manner to avoid any tendency at the time of building of this very important infrastructure from diluting in terms of the quality. Every item is determined by quality. We go to the market for buying tiles, starting from 40 rupees per square feet, till thousands, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 per square feet. So, the quality, based on which the price is determined, it must be very comprehensive and well-defined, whether they are there or not. Whether they are there or not is the need of the government to see and to enlighten this August House. Therefore, I demand that this must be presented before this August House. And another part is the cost factor. Depending on the bill of quantity and the kind of materials that is proposed to be used, which should be well defined in a very comprehensive manner to know that the price is determined based on the quality. And how do we determine the price, the cost, in factoring in the DPR? It is also already laid down. The only thing is that it should not be deviated from. Now, how it is laid down? To have a proper market survey vis-a-vis the existing schedule of rates, and compare with the schedule of rates if we do not have the latest schedule of rates. If we pick it right on the earlier schedule of rates, which may be 3 years or 4 years, I have seen that the departments of PWD have not also taken measures to update the schedule of rates. Even in terms of roads and bridges, even in terms of buildings, this leaves lots of loophole to interpret from different angle by misrepresenting the market values. You see? So therefore, in the absence of current and latest SOR, what is the modalities that has been adopted at the time of factoring the cost, the price, based on market survey, which is effective and correct with truthfulness, and also the relevance of the rates which is available with the government pertaining to the past purchases and the records thereof, and also to have a separate cost analysis, a cost analysis which is again guided by norms, how the cost analysis is done, to ensure that there is a correct methodology adopted and achieved in price determination. Now, when we send anybody to buy anything, if we know price, then we know how much to send. That is what we call price determination. So, therefore, Mr. Chairman, sir, this whole important aspect, while we agree to allow the government to pass the demand of grants, whether it is supplementary demand or the normal demand for grants, it is subjected to this scrutiny. And it is only befitting for the House, because the whole responsibility of scrutinizing every penny every rupee that we are going to spend from public exchequer is vested upon the members of this August House, is vested upon the legislature. Accountability to the legislature by the executive. Therefore, this accountability is crucial. Now, I have asked one more thing. Now, I have referred to one thing, and which I want to again be more specific. Whether in the case of new Secretariat and Directorate complex, any PMC has been engaged or appointed, or whether the process of proper notice inviting tender in consistency with this Central Vigilance Commission guidelines and other financial rules notified by both the Union government and state government has been stringently adhered to. The bill of quantity, the areas, the proposed floor area, cumulative floor area of the detailed construction must be made available for the August House, so that we will be able to go and visit, see. In fact, last time when Honorable Chief Minister has visited that new Secretariat and the Directorate complex in New Shillong Township, we had a meeting where after the visit he has come and he has advised me also to go and visit. But going and visiting with all these informations enable us to be more productive and give us also, invoke us to shoulder responsibilities in addition to what the government must have put in place to scrutinize and put everything under scrutiny. Therefore, this particular issue is required. And the total build-up area in terms of the floor area, in terms of other components of works, I'm sure there'll be, whether this is only the building or in this whole approved amount of in respect of the DPR which has been approved, and the total amount for which has been the total amount of award of contract. Whether it also includes other components other than the building alone. And if they are, the details thereof. Then I have said the mode of tendering, whether there was a tendering process or no tendering process. Was it awarded on a nomination basis under certain provision, which is also available with the government? But then again, there are riders, there are guidelines, stringent guidelines which the government has to follow, whether those have been followed. In the name of the contractor, and if the PMC is there, the name of the PMC. Then, in respect of and total project cost, I think I'm remembering the total project cost is something around 1,000 plus. So 1,000 plus crore for this new Secretariat and Directorate complex. Therefore, it requires lots of scrutiny, and that scrutiny is inconsistent with our responsibility. Now, the second one is the additional secretariats, mini secretariat complex at Dakop. Now here, the demand is 200 crore for this year for the new secretariat in New Shillong Township, and is 45 crore in respect of additional secretariat. That means it is expected that the whole speed of the work must be really fast. Therefore, the more necessity of more stringent scrutiny, lest we'll end up being embarrassed. We already are embarrassed as a state, which was carried by national media, the doom of our assembly building. So these are concerns. Once bitten, twice shy. So therefore, there'll be no room for any complacency. There'll be no room for us to shrugging of responsibility. We must all respond to our call of duty in the right earnest, in the spirit of service to our state and our people. Then the same thing in respect of, the same points in respect of the additional secretariat in Dakopri, the mini secretariat. In terms of the NIT, to prevent any different interpretation, lack of ambiguity, so that it is well insulated from being subjected to any likely litigation. We have seen in the past. Most of the cases that government has fought will ended up losing. There was only one case in PWD, I will remember. I think the Honorable Minister in charge, Deputy CM in charge will remember also. He himself was the contractor. Yes. Then once the work was awarded, some other bidders went to the court. So I was alerted. Some people thinking that, okay, now this matter has gone to the court, so government will end up losing. As usual, we didn't lose the case. He knows it, why we didn't lose the case. Because what we did was in sync with the procedure, and we knew how to insulate the decision of the government. Therefore, I think those are experiences based on which government should always prevent the interests of the state, so that in the process of litigation, the government will always end up winning. If there are provisions where the government will end up losing the case in an event of litigation, then we must remember that somebody must have tampered. I have seen it. In fact, there are many cases. I can share with them outside the house, but then it is a fact. All through my long innings in governance, I have seen it. Therefore, it is only appropriate for me to share in this August House and share with the members of the cabinet of this current government. Now, another one, state for capital investment for construction of working women's hostel. See, every end result of investment must commensurate to the kind of investment that we make. If I can build a house with 10 crore, if somebody, when I offer any architect or anybody who is actually doing the construction, if he shows me, the projected cost to be double, I will not employ that contractor. I don't think anybody will employ. We know what is the market price. We know how much is the cost per square feet. We have the various other government construction going on, CPWD and etc., etc. We have to compare. That is what we call market analysis and price determination. In respect of the SOR, there cannot be arbitrary, decision to agree to any proposed amount of work which do not commensurate to the build-up quantity. From the perspective of the price analysis, cost determination, which are again guided by all the norms. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, sir, with utmost sense of responsibility, I have brought these facts before the House, which definitely is binding on each one of us to put every demand for grants for spending from public exchequer. That is the reason why this cut motion is provided. That is the reason why we have the budget session, and that is what is all very tactfully enshrined in this Constitution of India. Therefore, with these few words, expecting that true clarity will be provided, I am aware that the minister in charge, Deputy CM in charge, may not be having all these informations now, but the rule provides that if the minister is not able to provide the necessary information on the day of the matter being taken up in the floor of the House, then the rule provides that these informations be provided within a stipulated time. So with these few words, Mr. Chairman, sir, I move this cut motion, and I hope this will benefit the government, benefit our state, and it will have its ramification in ensuring that all the implementing agencies look at this huge responsibility of ensuring that whenever we take up projects, the onus of responsibility lies on them, because the responsibility of prevention, rather protecting the interests of the state, is upon the authorities. I have been repeating this again and again in this August House. While I was having the privilege of running the government as Chief Minister, I always remind my officers, including my colleagues, that these are how we are guided, lest we stumble and fall because of not being cautious and alert, and because of our ignorance, or because of our complacency, or because of our contempt to, oh, what can he do? Please do not take people for granted. And please don't take also the leader of the opposition for granted. I am watching also. So with these few words, I move this cut motion.
Since there is no other participant, now I will call the minister in charge to reply.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I am very grateful to the Honorable LO Dr. Mukul Sangma for bringing this cut motion in this August House, which provide me an opportunities to discuss the initiative being taken by the urban departments. Sir, urban centers in Meghalaya play an important role in the economic developments of the hill states and also acts as a catalyst for developments of the rural hinterlands. Urbanizations in Meghalaya has maintained a steady pace with the proportions of urban populations to the total population of the state has been recorded as 20.08% during 2001 and 2011, as against the 19.58% during the 1991-2001. The decadal growth of the urban population has however, declined slightly, recording 31.13% during the year 2001 and 2011, as against 37.58% during the 1991 to 2001. The numbers of urban settlements have also increased from 16 to 22 during the periods. It is expected that the increasing trends of urbanizations will continue its momentum during the 2011 and 2021, with increasing thrust of developments impetus being given in these regions. Sir, the functions and objective of the Urban Affairs Department are focused primarily on the plannings, developments, and proper management of the urban areas in the state. Keeping the above-mentioned objective in mind, the department has been focusing on the preparations of the master plans and regulating the physical developments of the urban center. Stress has been given on improvement of civic amenities and revamping the urban infrastructures in the urban center. Stress has also been given towards improvement of the quality of life of the urban poor through improvements of their physical environments, social welfare, and generation of employments. Programs of departments are drawn up and implemented with the above-mentioned objective, and to make the program successful and beneficial to the peoples, strict monitoring and evaluation through internal and external mechanisms are being attempted at every stages. Sir, to achieve the objectives, the Urban Affairs Department has taken up various developmental activities for which the supplementary demand of Rs 330 crore only has been proposed. The supplementary demand is for the following purposes as follows. Number one, construction of new Secretariat and new Shillong city. The project background. Such rapid development of Shillong, the capital city of Meghalaya, over the past decades, urged the government of Meghalaya to consider additional development in the cities, which will ensure growth for residential, administrative, and commercial uses. And the government of Meghalaya has earmarked approximately 914 acres of land of the developments of the new Shillong Townships in Maudingdang's Umsauli, located in the outskirts of the cities. And a series of governments and administrative buildings have been on the site and are presently under the process of development in the area. Approximately 230 acres of land have been made available for the development of an administrative cities. And in this administrative city, a parcel of 58 acres has been earmarked for the new Secretariat buildings and other administrative buildings. At present, the Secretariat and Directorate are running in different buildings, which are situated in different locations of Shillong. This leads to a lack of coordination and undue pressures on road by way of increasing the traffic in the daytime and wasting a lot of time of officers and employees and others. If all these officers can be brought in one place, then the inter-ministerial and inter-department work can be coordinated in more organized and smooth manner, thereby increasing the overall efficiency of the system. And accordingly, it is proposed to divert to a new Secretariat. Our period with increased special requirement, changes in the functioning, advancements in technology, and high-tech building infrastructures. Services, these buildings have outlived their life, and there is an acute need for each of these buildings to expand, upgrade, increase functional infrastructural efficiencies, and consolidate and integrate. The new plan shall be a blueprint for the redevelopment of the entire area, locating modern government office building blocks complete with building designs, engineering services, design site development infrastructure, and landscape, water bodies, and lighting, amongst other components. The plan shall also provide intelligent and sustainable solutions for present issues about inefficient land use, traffic congestion, pollution, etc. The new plan shall accommodate all the departments of the present Secretariat. The complex has been divided into Ring 1, R1s, and Ring 2, R2. Ring 1 has got G plus 5 buildings, and Ring 2 is G plus 6. Parking areas has been provided in the basement and also at the surface level. The total capacity for a parking is 1,739 numbers of cars. It may be mentioned that the total project cost is 1,231 crore, 3,71,078 project cost, and the tender value which has been noted is 1,096 crore. As the head of, okay, so the total is 1,231 crore, 3,71,078. But the tender value of work is, the tender value of work is at 1,096 crore, 17,25,961, sir. As the new head of account was approved on 26 March 2025, hence the fund amounting to rupees 200 crore which will be utilized during the financial year 2025-26 is proposed to be met by way of supplementary demands. Yes, Mr. Chairman, sir. I would like to give a brief details of the projects. Total plot area is 58.09 acres. And total build-up area is 1,09,384 square meter. And the proposed duration to complete the project mean time of completion is 36 months from the date of issue of the final work order. And works in progress, which is 22%, is physical progress as of now. And the implementing agency, as per required by the Honorable Law, is the...
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, sir. If Minister can give me again that the total percentage of work done.
22%, sir.
22.
22%. And the implementing agency is the New Shillong Township Development Agency. And number 2 is regard the construction of additional Secretariat complex at Dakopri, Tura. Tura being the second largest city after Shillong headquarters in West Garhwil, is progressively expanding and many of the officers are spread out across the city and some of these officers are functioning from rented houses. So to improve governance and bring administration closer to the people, it is felt that construction of additional Secretariat complex at Tura is urgent requirements. So the proposed site is at approximate area is 99,300 square meter for the additional Secretariat. In phase 1, the proposal is to construct 2 main blocks, main Secretariat Block A and 1 office block, Block B, having part basement, ground plus 3 floors above to accommodate the elected members of Legislative Assembly and bureaucrats and office staff. All floors are universally accessible by staircase and lift as per requirements. In addition, there is an elliptical shaped parasols at the roof covering the whole building supported on a circular columns at the periphery of the buildings. And there is also a library block D as double storied with a wall of 23-meter height to project a symbol of Meghalaya. And the cave block E in circular shape is ground floor structure with a non-accessible roof. In addition, there are housing for 2 BHK block giving G plus 3F. And all the blocks are independent to each other and tentative build-up area is 22,282 square meter split into different blocks as follows. Block A is mini Secretariat, Block B is office block 1, and Block D is library, and Block E is cave area, and Block G is 2 BHK housings, and Block J is ESS, and Block K is guardhouse 2 numbers. And primary uses of different floor of block is as under. Block A and B. Block A, 76 meter into 16 meter building, part basement, ground plus 3 floor, contain offices of CMs, deputy CMs, and member of Legislative Assembly. But in Block B, although identical to Block A, only office of clerical staff is planned. Block D, library blocks, a semi-curved block at lower ground floor as well as Ground floor is planned in such a way that it integrates the Meghalaya symbol on the entrance, and both sides are sheer wall of 300-meter thickness, 3 mm thickness, and on the valley side is a triangular glazed wall. And lower ground with a floor height of 6 meter and ground floor is 17 meter. An approximate site of block is 21 meter into 11 meters with a total height of 23.3 meters. Block E cave buildings, circular in plan with 29 outer diameter and 12.6 inner diameters. This building meant for entertainment, casual get-together, and relaxation when required. Block G, 2 BHK residential block of 42 meter into 10.23 meter design for G plus 3 floor. It may be mentioned that, sir, the total cost of the project is 165 crore, 80 lakh, 68,940. As the new head of account was approved on 26 March, hence no budget provision was kept in the 2025-26 budget, hence the funds amounting to rupees 45 crore, which will be utilized during the current financial year, is proposed to be made by way of supplementary demand. And brief detail of the work covered as listed below. Total plot area is 99,300 square meter. Total build-up area is 17,180 square meter. And proposed duration of completion, time of completion is 24 months from the date of issue of final work order. And the implementing agency is Executive Engineer Urban Affairs West Garuhil Tura. And tendering process is completed. However, the work is yet to be awarded. So, Mr. Chairman, sir, yes, I also like to assure the Honorable LO, it is a very valid point which he raised that, and the tender has been allowed through the e-tendering process, and yes, make sure that the quality should be strictly to be followed, especially by the Officer of Urban Developments. And sir, with this amount 1,096 crore, 1,096 crore approximately, the work component is included right from civil work up to till the furnishing item completely, the furnishing item still. And yes, as per request by the Honorable LO, so NIT, I will make sure that we'll make it available at the appropriate time to the LO. And the name of the contractor is MS Barirai Company and Aircon International Limited. Yes, the tender is allotted through a transparent system as per the CVC guideline. And also, during the execution, we, from the department, we would like to ensure that there should be strictly flow as per the DPR, which is incorporated in the work order itself, sir. And yes, all the other information which is required by the law, like NIT, and yes, maybe the particular information like detail of the nurse, so I will make it available at the right times within the stipulated time to the Honorable LO. Yes, and also there is, which not discussed by LO, the amount of 333 crore because of 200 crore is for demand for Secretariat, and 45 crore is for additional Secretariat Tura, and sir, 88 crore for the working women hostel which we didn't discuss. So this is it come to 335 crores. So with these few clarifications, sir, so on all the important point and suggestion mentioned by the law is noted by me, and all the necessary requirement you request, so I will make it available to at the right time, sir. So with this clarification, so I request the Honorable LO to withdraw this court motion so that we'll be able to pass this grant number 15.
Thank you. May I know the mind of the movers as to whether they will withdraw the cut motion?
Mr. Chairman, sir, the Honorable Deputy CM has, to a great extent, based on whatever informations are available with him, have highlighted the issues, particularly the information vis-a-vis the cost, etc., etc. But I think he has also assured that all those informations which I have sought for will be made available before this August House. Let the August House has these so that every member can do our own homework. And if need be, we can all see how we respond to our call of duty in sync with the responsibilities vested upon us to protect the interests of the state. I'm sure the government is taking all the measures to see that, because as I've said, once bitten, twice shy with that earlier experience. So it is only appropriate that we take utmost precaution while we implement projects of this nature. And because these projects are supposed to be projects where there will be many items which will be required to be of high-end categories and high-end varieties. At the end of the day, that mini secretariat or the secretariat, they're the main monuments of our governance and democracy. They represent the power of the executive. So I think it is only befitting that we take utmost care. So with this faith and confidence, I would like to beg the leave of the House to withdraw this cut motion.
Now, since the mover has withdrawn the cut motion, now let me put the question before the House. The question is that grant number 15 be passed. Those who are for the motion say aye. Those who are against say no. The ayes have it, the ayes have it, the motion is carried, and grant number 15 is passed.